Hello friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Monday Q&A. Disclaimer, all the flying and everything that we're going to be talking about is you know, just words go here. I can't think of the word. Everything that we're going to be talking about is hypothetical. There it is. That's the word, hypothetical. And it's more about just kind of like being respectful, to be completely honest. But we're going to talk about how to fly and not get kicked out of spots where you commonly get kicked out and stuff like that. So yeah, there's some stuff that you can do. I mean, a lot of it is like good sort of general practices, right? Like, don't be an idiot. Don't, if there's people around, don't fly 55-inch freestyle batteries in a row. But yeah, sometimes we need reminders of these things. In the chat, Casey Henderson was first, Kiz Bartlett was next, Sleepy CBR, Glowstick Spin, and 8-Bit FPV, Riot 9, Frank Nicholas, Fam G is here, Justin the Guy, Charles Marseille, Clockwork DG, Brandon's Baked Beans, Four Little Pigs, Danzel the Terrible, 8-Bit FPV, Flexo 3D, Troy, Who else we have here? Up South, Clockwork DG, Riot 9, Danzilla again, Maxi Trillion, RC Overkill, Metal Dirtskins here, Up South, J Barnes, 661. I think I got everybody. What's up, friends? This is my full-time job. If you like these live streams and want to see them keep on going forever, head on over to CiottiFPV.com and just click a whole bunch of buttons. Patreon helps me out the most, but there's a bunch of other stuff that you can do that certainly does help. You can get in on the Patreon for as low as $3 a month. That's only 10 cents a day. It is the absolute best way that you can support me. If you have a couple of extra dollars beyond $3, you can get in on every other Monday giveaways. We did 4 giveaways last Monday for patrons. This coming a week from today will be the next 4 giveaway live stream. 3 of them are specifically for patrons. The 4th one is open to anybody. $5 a month tier, $10 a month tier, $20 a month tier. Those are going to get you in on these every other Monday giveaways. Each giveaway is, the 5-inch giveaways are between $50 and $100 worth of stuff twice a month. The 3-inch and micro brushless tier is, I don't know, $40 to like $60 a month, or per giveaway rather. And then the Cinewhoop and toothpick stuff is $15 to $40, let's say, dollars worth of stuff. So yeah, if you like gambling, I got your back. There's a bunch of other stuff going on here. There is a sale. It might be done. I think the sale's done. Never mind. There's some good stuff on Etsy, though. Some random stickers and micro hardware that you might need for your next build. Even some 5-inch hardware. Fiverr, you can work directly with me one-on-one. If you want to save yourself a ton of time and money, we can plan your next build with parts that don't catch on fire. We can talk about tuning if you have an unruly rig, or we can just do some straight up flight instruction in the simulator one-on-one. If you're looking to save yourself a ton of time in this hobby and get good fast, this is how you do it right here. I would have fucking killed for someone to have been offering this 6 years ago when I was new. Teespring, we got some really fun shirts and mugs and a tote bag that you're gonna love. And then just a bunch of other fun stuff. If you want to do a super chat, but you don't want YouTube to take 30% of your money, you can use this PayPal link and just tag me in the chat. And then I have a bunch of affiliate links. Next time you're buying stuff online, think about your content creator friends. It's tough to do this kind of stuff full time. We Bleed FPV, Newbie Drone, FPV Cycle, Amazon, Get FPV, Oh My God's website, Flywoo, Banggood. I got a whole bunch. I know you're going to be ordering a bunch of stuff off Amazon. Hook a brother up for Christmas. Before you check out, hit an affiliate link, or just replace your ding dong in the wing wang. Free vert girls, chat here. Oh, hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Oh, Brandon, you bastard. I was gonna get some free vert girls, man. What am I gonna do now? I'm gonna have to suffer with real life women? Why suffer with real life women when you can get vert girls? Oh man, I hope Maggie's not watching this. She's gonna kill me. Rightfully so. Is the stream okay? YouTube claims that it's not receiving enough video. Although I have 0 dropped frames. Shut up, YouTube, you idiots. Hey, we're also going to, if we have time, we probably won't, swap the frame on this Tinylifter. I don't know when this happened. I think it might have been on a crash down the stairs. But yeah, the front part of this Cockroach, one of the front standoffs on this, not really a standoff, but support, I guess, on this Cockroach 75 frame broke. I don't love there's some things that I love about these Cockroach 75 frames. There's some things that I don't. The durability is one of the things that I don't love. I mean, the frame is already heavy. I wish they'd just beefed up these whatever the hell these are, supports for the duct a little bit, for the ducts a little bit more. But, and That's kind of one of my only gripes about this frame. Other than that, this frame is great. And to build one of these little tiny lifters, this frame is kind of phenomenal. Speaking of, let me show you guys the magic of these little tiny lifters as we dive into. So we're gonna review some flight footage here on tonight's stream, and this is the all black tiny lifter, which is on the Beta FPV 1102 18,000s, which I have motor scaled down quite a bit. And this guy is on the biblades, the Gemfan 1.6 inch biblades, which are just fantastic. And this, if I'm being really honest, how you don't get caught flying absolutely anywhere, this is it. Like, I know that's like it's a weird answer, but this really is it. Like, this is how you don't get caught ever. Because nobody in the world is gonna come freak out and scream at you for flying this stupid little thing around, right? It looks like a kid's toy, kind of is a kid's toy. So this is kind of it. And if you want to really kind of expand on that, this and this with an Insta360 Go 2 for your Cinewhoop stuff, and then this for your Freestyle stuff. This can carry, this is just a 3-inch Freestyle rig. This will carry an Insta360 Go 2 all day long. So yeah, this little combo right here, this is how you don't get caught ever. You could also beef this up a little bit and build a sub 250 gram version of this with 2-inch props. And that would be even, and then you can carry like a naked GoPro around. That would be even better. The naked GoPro thing though, man, they're expensive and they're fragile, and like when I fly things that are expensive and fragile, I'm like, ooh, like I don't do anything impressive. I'm just like throwing a hot dog down a hallway. It's like, nope, the hallway got a little smaller, not into it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But what I do know, apparently, is that you guys got to take a look. I got to show you something. Skip this version. Remind me later. Skip this version. Remind me later. This is from the Insta360 Go 2 today, and it's just, man, this little camera is just bananas. Look at this little tree. Like, I could have flown 1,000 batteries with this thing today, and like no one would have ever even batted an eye. Do I have, all right, so this is with flow state on. Kind of doesn't matter. The way that I was flying, it doesn't really need flow state. But like, and this is with the Go 2 set to flat, so the colors will come out quite a bit. The colors will come up quite a bit here. Come on now. But like, look at this little tiny lifter, man. Like this is the magic of the tiny lifter. You could do this anywhere. You could do this in front of a police station, and they'd be like, "Yo, that's cool. You're gonna build me one, right? Or I'm gonna beat you with this club." Now it's getting a little stuttery because this software is, I don't know, if once I export this out, it'll be a little bit less stuttery. I don't know why it does this. I guess because it's trying to do a lot at once. It's doing the flow state and playing the preview and doing all the things. But yeah, so this is number one. How not to get caught. Fly one of these little tiny lifters. I have no fear whatsoever flying this thing absolutely anywhere. I will say though, my God, I need to find a better camera for the Goober that fits in the Goober canopy, because the Newbie Drone BI camera, like, man, it is just cloudy as shit. Like, all those little me hitting things, I couldn't see. I was just going through this tree on a hope and a prayer. I really need to get a better camera into these tiny lifters. It's kind of ridiculous. The BI camera is just not a good example of what a little camera will do. I had a nice flow going, and then this kind of, I was trying to go into a really small space. One of the things that you have to worry about with these little tiny lifters is like if it sucks one of these leaves into a propeller, it'll block the entire propeller. You got to keep in mind that you're flying something infinitely small, so you can't just go, you can't do like the Cinewhoop thing of just bash through the fucking leaves and it'll chomp it up and you'll be totally fine. But yeah, so method number 1 of not getting caught. Fly stuff that's uncatchable. Fly stuff that like people don't care that you're flying. And like, I know that sounds kind of obvious, but yeah, like if you're going to a sketchy spot, maybe don't bring a 5-inch rig because they're unbelievably loud, and like the sound that they make when we're flying them it's just weird, man. And people come like fucking running because it sounds like a dying animal. It sounds like a crying baby. It sounds like all these strange things. All right. So yeah, rule number 1, small, quiet toys, basically, right? Get a 3-inch rig, really properly set up. I really dig them with the RunCam hybrid on board. The footage is nowhere near as good from the Insta360 Go 2, but the RunCam hybrid is fully enclosed. So for a Freestyle 3-inch rig, it's hard to beat this because like everything's fully enclosed, protected by carbon fiber and standoffs. There's nothing. Ooh, I bent the shit out of that prop. There's nothing sitting up on top. You can put a big old battery on here. You can put a smaller battery on here. At the moment, I don't really know of any super good 3-inch frames. This is the BQE Ripsqueak, which is hopefully going to be back someday, but it's been out of stock for a while. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no really like lightweight 3-inch frames. I'm going to dive back into mine to try to get it crash tested some more. And get a bunch of these cut, but it's going to be a little while. I'm still waiting on Ryan to cut me the split base plate version of it. So yeah, but can't really bug him because he's been incredibly gracious with how much he's helped me out. Let me get caught up on chat before we look at some more footage and talk about the second way to not get caught. Hey, if you want to talk directly to me in the chat, all you got to do is either a super chat or a PayPal or type at CiottiFPV, and that'll light up an orange like that. Or you can just type CiottiFPV. You got to spell it right. Otherwise, I'll think you guys are talking amongst yourselves. Casey Henderson says, "Hey brother, hope you're having a good night. I'm here watching." Casey, I can't read this in all capitals, brother. Sorry. Kiz Bartlett says, "CiottiFPV and Gangly Gang, what's swinging? Hope your day has been as positive as Clam Man's words." FamG says, "What's up?" Justin the Guy says, "Evening." Denzel the Terrible says, "Let's get this party started. What's shaking CiottiFPV and the rest of the Gangly Gang?" Denzel the Terrible says, "Is this CiottiFPV flying from the passenger seat?" Yep, I have done that, and damn, it's hard. It is hard. We're gonna look at the flight footage in a minute. That's gonna be one of the other things is flying from the passenger seat. It's admittedly sketchy, but what's kind of cool about it is you've got a built-in spotter. The driver is your spotter, so he can call out cars behind you and cars in front of you. And whenever he does that, you get the hell away. You get away so that God forbid your shit falls out of the air, it doesn't fall onto that innocent oncoming car. And they can also warn you about like power lines, and it's really you have to tell them, you have to tell the driver what you want them to do, right? You got to tell them like, hey, I need you to listen to me for speed up, speed down. I need you to tell me when there's power lines going across the road. I need you to tell me when there's little tiny branches. You got to tell them all these things. And then if they stop talking, you need to say like, hey, what's coming up? Like you can't expect them to be like the best co-pilot ever because they are probably not a co-pilot. They're just a random schmo. So you gotta like prompt them to keep giving you information. But we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Charles Marseille says, "Thanks CiottiFPV for creating this community. My absolute pleasure." Charles. Muddy Ertson says, "Disclaimer, all flying is purely coincidental." Jay Barnes says, "What's up?" P. Richard Scott's in the house. Oh, shitters. P. Richard Scott coming through hard on the PayPal. That's how you do it, friends. If you don't want YouTube to take 30%, you click the PayPal button over on CiottiFPV.com. You tag me in chat. You say, yo, I sent you a PayPal. Patrick Scott sending $200. Holy hand grenades. That takes care of the Mini 11 fund, friends. Look at that. We're just going to let that sit. Here it is. We're just going to let this sit for a little bit here. And next live stream, we'll have a new goal going. Thank you, guys. Good Lord. Thank you, Patrick. Holy shitters. Yeah, you guys are the goddamn best. It's like being community sponsored is kind of the coolest thing ever. And there's a lot of benefits. I stole this idea from Joshua after hearing Joshua explain why he chose to like set his model, let's call it, up with Patreon and Patreon supporters being like the main part of his income, just really made a lot of sense to me. And I kind of did the same thing. And it's really, really cool that that there are enough generous people to kind of keep this going. So thank you guys. Love it. China Hobby Line's having a Cyber Monday sale up to 80% off. Oh my God. I bet you there's all kinds of terrible shit at 80% off. I don't do China Hobby Line anymore. I used to, and I had okay luck. But I had a run of bad luck with their batteries, and then the last straw was when one of their 6S 1500s pretty randomly blew up in my hand and really burned the shit out of me. And I was just like, nope, I'm done with this. You know, they're the cheapest batteries, and a lot, in many cases you get what you pay for. So, and yeah, the people and things in my house are way more important than saving $10 on a battery. When we're talking about 10 batteries, sure, $10 turns into $100, but it's still not worth it for me. Like I'll still prioritize tens of thousands of dollars worth of shit and human and animal lives over saving money. And their batteries are unbelievably heavy. So yeah, the flight performance is going to suffer from that. So lots of reasons to not get China Hobby Line batteries. My current favorites, and they have been for a long time, are the Tattoo R lines. They weigh the same, if not less, than the more expensive lunar landers, Thunder Power batteries. They perform amazing. They're kind of the lightest batteries that you're gonna find, and I've yet to have one blow up. So yeah, I've been running them. I've been running Tattoo R lines religiously for over 3 years, and they've just been incredible. So that's my recommendation. Yes, they're more money than China Hobby Lines, but what's your life and your family's lives and all your stuff and your entire that you've ever owned worth? So get a battery that performs better and is lighter weight, and maybe save your entire house while you're at it. Thank you again, Patrick. Holy hell. Glad I rushed home from the place that I was at to get this live stream going. Brandon's Beam says, LOL, sorry, I cockblocked you. Marcel Off Axis says, hey, I called dibs last time. Right9 says, not getting enough hair. Video is fine. Awesome. Flexo3D says, yeah, he was found dead this morning for suicide by old lady. Who you calling old? June Loco says, Sector Free Sector 3 frame is good. Oh god, it's made by HGLRC? No, it has AIDS. This is not... No offense, brother, but this... You might want to turn the live stream off for a minute, because I'm going to tear this frame a new asshole. This is... I'm going to apologize in advance, June Loco. And I'm going to say this. I don't know any of this for a fact. June Loco could be right. I don't have any personal experience with this frame. I do have experience with an awful lot of frames, though. And I'm going to use that experience to rip this frame a new asshole. So let's biggest problem with this frame is it's a unibody. It's a solid base plate. That's terrible. It's 2022. Stop it. Stop making solid base plate frames. They're not good. They're just not good. There are too many sacrifices, and it's just a bad idea. It's just bad. That, to be honest, that's a deal breaker. Like, this frame is just done immediately because of that. But it's fun to shred things, so let's keep talking about it. The design, it looks like it was designed by a 3-year-old, so that's not good. It's made by HGLRC, that's not good. Hold on. I'm trying to get a... Here we go. Trying to get just like a straight-on look at the base plate. Well, you know, it's interesting that they didn't make the mistake that most frame designers make, and they did not put these two holes here. They did not put these two holes here really far out on the arm here, creating a weak point. So that's actually not terrible. This is bad. This is real bad here, though. This is really, really bad here. That's atrocious. This is just gonna break, for certain. It's the rear of the frame, so it's only gonna break when you're flying backwards, but this is gonna break here for sure. Oh yeah, this is bad here too. The front of the frame's gonna break here. The front of the frame is set up for 2 standoffs. They look like M2 standoffs. Awful. So yeah, that ain't gonna be good. There's just everything is, not everything, but a lot of this stuff is way too close. There's not nearly enough carbon on the outside. This is the worst offender here. These holes are the worst offender. There is like almost no carbon on the outside of this hole. This is gonna be a horrendous weak spot. And it's got another, it's gonna run right here. It's just gonna crack right to this hole and then right there. And it's definitely going to do that because there's going to be a standoff here. So it's going to get a bunch of downward force when you crash. They actually have more motor protection than most, but this is still not enough, in my opinion. And this is weird motor protection. You don't need motor protection here. You need it up here and you need it back here. When you have it here, it protects when you smash on the side. And then when you have it up here, it protects when you smash nose in. You don't really need it there. It's got vertical camera plates in the front. Bad idea. That prevents you from being able to change your deck height, and that's a total pain in the ass. Although, you know what? These side plates here are gonna box the front of this frame in, so even though this looks bad, that might, although it's going to box it in up, yeah, it's still going to break. It's going to break right here. It's very strong up here because it's boxed in, but then this is where that back standoff 3 and standoff 4 go, and it's just going to break right there. Yeah, these prop guards suck. I can already tell looking at them, but GEP-RC makes a 3-inch prop guard that's actually really nice. So there you guys go. Everybody likes it when I shit on stuff, so. Oh no! No, come on. What's happening? Come on. Jesus. Stream Deck just lost its little mind. Yeah, sorry, June Loco. That does not, again, that is all hearsay. That's just me looking at frames. And making some educated guesses. Maybe it's indestructible. I doubt it. But the fact that it's solid base plate, it can go to hell. I mean, most would think that the worst part about it would be the fact that it's made by HGLRC. But I don't know. Maybe HGLRC, they certainly can't make electronics. Maybe they make the best frames in the world. Sorry, June. No offense meant at all. But I don't know. Prove me wrong. Show me video of you crashing the shit out of that frame and it not breaking. But the fact that it's solid base plate, two huge problems with unibodies, solid base plates. One, you have to choose. Either you point the carbon fiber strands in the correct direction going down the arms or in the main canopy area. You can't have it both. Can't have it both ways. On that particular frame, it's not going down the length of the arms. So the arms are going to be very wobbly. That's gonna cause hell with your PID tune and your filtering. And the arms are going to be very weak because of that. The other big problem is that the arms are not replaceable. So every single time you break an arm, you have to completely disassemble the entire thing. So instead of like a 3-minute arm swap, it's like a 2-hour-long cursing fiesta, because your stack is going to have a specific weird spacing, and then you're going to forget the weird spacing, and then it just sucks. Having to pull the entire build apart because you broke an arm is a complete deal breaker. And yeah, it's 2022. Like, come on, guys. Stop making solid base plate frames. They're just bad. There's nothing good about them. Literally, there's nothing that a unibody frame does better than a removable arm frame. And a lot of times they're heavier because the whole thing is the thickness of the arms. A removable arm frame, you make the center area a thinner carbon, and then you make the arms a thicker carbon. The arms are where you want the thicker carbon, not the unibody. So some people say, oh, well, the unibody base plate doesn't have to have as much hardware, so it's lighter. It's not, because the whole canopy section is like the 3, 4, 5 millimeter carbon for no reason. And that grossly offsets the little bit of extra weight of some hardware. Marion Oprea says, getting upset with ESP-based ELRS? ESP? ESP-based ELRS receiver not working on F405 board. Always solid color. Nor Happy Model EP1 2.4 or SkyStars Dual 2.4 work. Neither changing UART or pull-up resistor tricks. Marion, this is not, like, we typically don't dive into, like, super technical stuff like that on stream, mainly because I need a ton of feedback from you in order to actually, like, fix that. I do have drone build planning and tuning services over on Fiverr, where I can actually, realistically, you need to work with somebody one-on-one, because they need to ask you 20 plus different questions, and you need to go through it step by step by step by step. That is something that I typically don't do troubleshooting via Fiverr. Dan Remy Tim he's got a website, FPV Mentor. I think that's still up. He would be a much better bet for that. It's just not something that I do. I focus on, like, how to get your tune better, how to just fly better, like, from a theoretical standpoint, and or like drills that you can do, stuff like that. In a way, like, I'm almost like FPV 102. Like, after you get all the technical stuff out of the way, I can help you sort of refine and get your stuff dialed in. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to help you with that. But there are plenty of people out there that can help. Joshua Bardwell for sure. Remy Tim, fpvmentor.com. And as much as I hate on Facebook groups are a good spot to kind of try to figure that stuff out. I'm sure that there's an Express LRS Facebook group. So yeah, there's a bunch of different ways you can get that answer. Meccano Studio says, my 5-inch biblade 250 is quieter than the 3.5-inch AOS, primary goal being left alone. Yeah, the big propellered lightweight rigs are shockingly quiet. It's pretty wild. Neil FPV says, what was the model of the whoop you were flying around the Japanese maple tree? That is my Tinylifter build. I have a couple of videos here on the channel. Just search for Tinylifter and you'll find them. What else we got going on here? Casey Anderson says, sorry about the capital letters earlier. Silly caps button. No worry, brother. Marcelo Faxa says, awesome. Get that Hero 11 mini. Goddamn right. I have the Hero 8. The Hero 8 is sitting right up there next to a Freestyle Glide that's got a Hero 8 TPU on it. So I'm gonna go out and fly that Hero 8 Freestyle, and I can't imagine. I've never had a GoPro Hero last more than like 2 Freestyle sessions. So that thing will be dead pretty soon. And then it can be replaced. And then we can get all Hero 11 mini'd and see what the hype is all about. Which is actually really good because this Hero 10 really eats its battery. Good lord. It just... I don't have an extra battery for it at the moment because I don't think I'm going to keep the Hero 10. I think I'm going to do 2 Hero 11 minis. We'll see though. I'm going to do the one, make sure it works with my workflow, and make sure that there's nothing like... I've already heard some annoying things about it, so I want to make sure that doesn't drive me insane. That they don't drive me insane, I should say. Veritas user says, did you see Matt Potchwatt's Skydio 2 hit a school bus head on? Jesus. Damn school bus came out of nowhere on the offensive. No, but that's scary, man. Like, no offense to him or anything, but like, that's kind of the... This is going to sound bad. I don't know how to say this in a way that doesn't sound bad, so I'm just going to say it and whatever. That's the kind of stuff that freaks me out about new pilots. I think he's a new pilot. He just came out of nowhere all of a sudden. I'm pretty sure he's in this new wave of pilots from the last like year and a half where they didn't have to work as hard as many of us that got into this 6, 7, 8 years ago when the tech sucked, right? So they got into the hobby when the tech was already kind of nailed down. You can just get DJI and it just works. You can just look up any of the 1,000 build videos and knock out a build very easily. And yeah, it kind of... Those pilots tend to be the ones that hit school buses head on. And like, it could happen to me tomorrow, but it probably won't because I don't know, like when you've flown enough, like you just develop like some kind of a sixth sense for like where cars are going to be and where cars aren't going to be. And like, I don't know, you also get like so, what's that say? Lobo FPV, thanks for the sub, brother. You just kind of get so invested in it too that like when in doubt, you're like, nope, not flying over there or not flying here at all. Whereas like, somebody that's only been in it for a year or two, like they're much less invested and they tend to just have much more of a fuck it, send it, kind of attitude. Not saying that that's Potchwatt, but he's one of the newer guys, and it just kind of freaks me out. Yeah. It's hard for me to say that because, I've done dumb shit too. I don't anymore, but it took me a long time. It took me a number of years to really understand what is dumb shit and really like stop doing it. So easy for me to say, right? But I don't know, it just kind of freaks me out. And then the horror stories that I've heard are usually newer folks. So yeah, but I mean, what's the solution, right? Just don't let anybody new come into the hobby. Obviously that doesn't work. I really don't know what the solution is. Remote ID is the solution. Danzel the Terrible says roasts should be a regular bit. Frames, builds, faces, all are fair game. KZ Anderson says Crazy Pony makes some amazing 650 mAh 1S batteries. 45 minutes off one battery is crazy. And then about 3 to 4 minutes when I do a lot of acro and punch outs. So Crazy Pony doesn't make anything. Crazy Pony is a reseller. I'm trying to think who makes their batteries. Might not be who used to make their batteries, but yeah, I don't remember. Even if I did remember, there's a chance that they've changed battery manufacturers. So my guess would actually be GNB. That would be my guess is who's making is who's making their batteries. That is a complete guess, though, to be completely honest. Here's how you can figure out. Search for 1S 650 mAh batteries on like Google and see who makes them. I don't think Tattoo makes one. I'm pretty sure that GNB makes one. I don't think China Hobby Line makes. Well, that's how you'd figure out. You'd look at the so China Hobby Line, Tattoo, GNB. Those are really the three manufacturers. There's also Dogcom, and although I'm not convinced Dogcom makes their own batteries. Maybe they do. And then all the other manufacturers that you see on batteries, they're not making the batteries. They're having one of the big three make them for them. Tattoo is not even the right company. Gens Ace is actually the company that makes the batteries. Tattoo is their FPV company name. But yeah. Gamma Gonad says, I agree in general about solid base plate, but the Armatan Tadpole HD is my favorite 3-inch jacker. Quad pretty lightweight, tough, and flies great. Doesn't have replaceable arms, but lifetime warranty. Gamma Gonad, don't get me started on Armatan frames. The long and short of Armatan frames is that they make it very difficult for you to actually cash in on that lifetime warranty. They tell customers things like, oh, just glue the frame back together and you'll be fine. And then if you eventually do finally get them to replace the frame, it takes forever to arrive. And then you've got to do a whole big rebuild. And you're never going to go through that process enough times to offset. So they charge a lot more for their frames. You can buy a cheaper frame that's removable arm and buy a bunch of extra arms for the same money or less money, and that'll be and you'll get your money's worth out of that, versus every single time your rig breaks, you wait a month for the replacement frame to come, and then you break it again, and you wait another month. Like, you're only going to go through that a couple of times before you say, you know what, this is ridiculous. Especially because with a unibody, every time you have to do that replacement, it's hours. It's not minutes, it's hours. Whereas replaceable arms, it's minutes. So, yeah, and there's a lot of other issues with Armatan frames that are partly because Chris, the guy that runs the company, he just refuses to believe what every single intelligent human being in FPV has roundly agreed on in terms of the directionality of the carbon fibers making a huge difference. Not to mention people, just black box logs. Black box logs show it. Chris Rosser has done vibration analysis on 1 or 2 Armatan frames, and it's like a joke. I mean, it's so bad. So bad. But all that being said, frames have been really good for the last like 4 years, and that's a frame within the last 4 years. So it's actually really good compared to the really old stuff that didn't work at all. But there are, well, when it comes to 3-inch lightweight frames, there actually aren't many other options. But yeah. Wow, could it be that the Armatan Tadpole, just because of lack of availability of other good frames, is one of the better 3-inch freestyle frames? Yikes. At the moment. Gamma Gonad says, and I'm really not a big fan of Armatan frames. Well, good. Joshua is not streaming. He ends at 10, and I jump in. Fat Pastor says, did I hear Bardwell say that the Mobula 6 Diamond AIO was the best on the market? I certainly hope not. I have told him I've told him a bunch of times the problems with that AIO. So I hope he didn't say that. He's got a lot of people telling him a lot of stuff all the time. So, but yeah, I very specifically left that off of his Cinewhoop page. Yeah, hopefully he didn't say that. But if he did, what can you do? June Logo says, my second favorite 3-inch is Mini QIV. Bash on this one, lol. The Mini QIV is a Ryan Harold designed frame. There's a lot of things I like about it. There's some things I don't like about it, though. I don't like that it uses vertical camera plates, which locks in the deck height. I don't like that it uses M2 hardware. I also don't like that it has a rear 20x20 location. 3-inch freestyle frames fly best when you keep them light. And when you add that tail onto it, they are not quite as light. That's about it, though. I like pretty much everything else about it. I built one here on the channel. I built a 4-inch one on the channel, and I did a giveaway with it. And it flew great. There's just a couple things I don't like about it. Great design. Great. The way that the arms lock in are really cool. Good vibration characteristics. Little bit of motor protection. My main problem with it is that rear 20x20 mounting location. Yeah, you don't really need that unless you're doing a DJI build. Then you kind of do. So it sort of depends. PJ says, I'm still a relatively new pilot and I'm nervous to fly anywhere but an AMA field in my yard. I guess I'm a reverse noob. That's a healthy fear right there, PJ. Be afraid. You'll get over that as you fly a little bit better, and your gear stops falling out of the sky all the time. You'll feel much more confident in branching out. We need more people like you and less people like the 17-year-olds that get into the hobby and smash their friend in the face. So yeah, you're in a good place, brother. Casey Anderson says, I would send a pic if this would let me. LOL. You can put a picture up over on Discord if you want. I have no idea what you'd send a picture. I have no idea a picture of what, but of the battery, it's not going to help me. They put their own label on the outside. Yeah, it's not going to help me. KZ Anderson also says, and they are high volt 4.35, so that's another plus. Yeah, pretty much all of the 1S batteries, I think, at this point are high volt. That's pretty standard stuff. Fat Pastor says, oh, please do the Armatan opening box review. Come on, the rest of them. Gamma Gonad says, I've crashed the F out of the Tadpole HD and only have a little chip out of it, tough as S, and super smooth footage from the Go-To. Look, I didn't say a curse word. I don't know why. I've said like 18 already. I'm trying. Super smooth footage from the Go-To. That's very cool, Gamma Gonad. I refuse to recommend any Armatan frames, but at the moment, I can't say it. I just can't. Sorry. I just can't. Dingles says, about the Tadpole, doesn't that contradict the whole solid base plate opinion? Absolutely, but there's just no other options. There just aren't any good lightweight 3-inch frames right now. PJ says, well, it doesn't fall out of the sky unless I hit something, so I guess I'm there. Time to fly in some buses. There you go. All right. Caught up on chat. So I gave you the way number 1 to not get caught, how to not get caught flying sketchy spots. Let me pull up some footage that I found on a memory card earlier. Well, what computer? So on my old computer, right? The RealSteady files that I had run through RealSteady, they played beautifully, and then files straight out of the camera played like ass. On this Mac Mini, it's the complete opposite. It struggles like hell to play the RealSteady smoothed videos, but it plays the straight out of camera videos just completely fine. So I already showed you guys. All right, so I might as well pull it back up. So method number 2, flying sketchy spots and not getting caught. And this one, like, your gear has to be locked down. You got to know what you're doing. Like, you got to be kind of a seasoned pilot to pull this one off without losing your rig or without causing a problem. But again, you tell your driver yo, you are my spotter. You need to tell me if there's cars behind us. You need to tell me if there's cars in front of us. Because when there's a car that's going to be in front of us, I need to do something like what I just did here and get off the road so that there's no chance of you. The big thing is you don't want to distract another car on the road, right? Like that's the big thing. You just don't want some other driver looking at the drone instead of driving the car. They could ram into the car that you're driving. They could run off the side of the road. It's just not cool. This is a really good way to just get up in the air and get a little bit of footage and then get back in the car and go. Like, you could pretty much do this. I mean, you can go really hard with this and like launch it off the roof, you know, open the rear deck and land it in the rear deck. Like, you can go totally insane with this. Obviously, when there's no cars around, right? Like that, I think that's a given. Like, you can only do this shit when it's completely desolate. If there's a bunch of traffic, this is a complete no-go. And you need to keep communication wide open between you and the driver. Go faster, go slower. I don't know where I am. I don't know where you are. Stuff like that. You want your driver to drive as smooth as possible because you're in the car. You're kind of getting kicked around a little bit. If it's a bumpy road or if they're throwing the car around. You really can't do this. You really can't do this on like a twisty fun road. It just doesn't work. I mean, like, you can do it, but the footage is going to be worthless. And then what's the point? You have to do this on a smooth road, straight road, and or at low speeds. All the bobbling you're seeing is because there were like 30-mile-an-hour winds. It was really windy here. I think I need to put a little bit of time. Well, so this is the Cinewhoop that's I'm gonna do the little test for props in versus props out. This is currently props out, and apparently going props in will help this rig drop altitude. Mark Spatz did a little video about that recently. So the tune is not in a great place at the moment, but it was really windy. And I mean, there's not a whole hell of a lot you can do with Cinewhoops when it's windy. So yeah, that's another way of flying a somewhat sketchy spot and not getting caught. You really need to make sure, though, that, see, like moving off the side of the road, like I'm hiding behind the truck, I'm moving off, like just stay the hell away from other cars. You got to be really, like, this is also not a good way to get like great footage, because like you're paying attention to everything other than you're flying, right? You should be paying attention to like everything safety wise, not really they're flying. Like, if you can get a couple of shots, great. But you really need to be focused on the safety side of kind of doing that. So that's pretty risky. Again, if your gear's not locked down, like if the rig that you're flying has fallen out of the sky within the last 100 batteries, like don't do it. Just don't do stuff like that. And if you get motion sick, if the road is bumpy, it's just worthless. It's just completely worthless to do it. Now, this is the little waterfall spot. Yeah, okay. So this is a good example here of waiting it out. We were here for, I waited like 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah. This drive is called Tiny Wreck Dick. That's a joke from the league. Which, I'm not going to open the drive up, but yeah, that's what it's called. Why is it yellow? Hold on. I don't even know which drive. Oh, that's that other weird hard drive. Yeah, hold on. Oh, come on now. So this is number 3, I guess. Wait it out. Just wait. When we got to this spot, there were a bunch of people, and people can tend to get upset by the noise. I mean, this is... I think that drive is actually empty, to be honest. Yeah, like this is a fairly quiet rig. 5-bladed props, really lightweight. So people very rarely give a shit about me flying this rig. Actually, I've never had anyone complain about me flying this rig. And So yeah, but still there were some people hanging out here, and I just waited. I didn't say anything to them. I just let them have their time in this little spot, and then eventually they moved on. And it was like, awesome, there's no people around. Here we go. I'm gonna fly a quick 4 or 5 minute battery down the little streamy boy with a nice little exit. And now I'm pissed that I have a little bit of water on the top left of the lens, but such is life. So yeah, like it's kind of like a two-parter, right? Like wait until there's no people around, but also like find spots that just aren't going to be super populated with people, right? Like if I'd sat at this spot for 20 minutes and there were just constantly people, maybe I wouldn't have flown it at all, because yeah, I mean that's kind of up to you. Like if like I said, this is a quiet rig. I'm not going to be like railing freestyle with it. I'm going to be in this little stream area where the people aren't, right? I'm not flying above people's heads or anything like that. So nobody's really going to care. Like that dude who's walking, he didn't care at all. You know, it kind of also goes into the common sense thing, right? Just don't do shit that people are going to get pissed about. Freestyle, like big dives down you know, into like blind spots, like that's how people get freaked out. And that's just, don't do that. Just don't do that. There's so much common sense to like not getting yelled at and not pissing people off. But yeah, I mean, we all want to fly all the time, right? Man, this rig is wiggling all around. I got to get the tune a little bit figured out here. And my dad was actually talking to this guy. So he was super cool. This is my dad here. He was filming me, filming him, filming me, filming him. So yeah. And this also kind of goes back to quiet rigs. Fly quiet rigs. Don't fly angry 5-inch demonic freestyle rigs in a spot where there's any chance of there being people that are either going to get hit in the face with it or are going to get mad by the really annoying sounds that it makes. You know, like a 5-inch freestyle rig at this spot, like, it would not have lasted more than 10 minutes, almost certainly. So yeah, don't do it. Like, just be smart about it. This is why we build all these other weird rigs, right? This is when you bring the other rigs out. Like, we spend all this time researching and figuring out how to build all these different rigs. There are situations where we want to fly them. This is an example of that. This is just more from that same spot. This is another little spot. All right, so this is a really good example of like using your ears. I was standing right up on the fence. This is a one-way street that only has bicyclists and walkers going one direction and the cars come in the other direction. And it's really quiet here. So I was able to hear. So I only had to worry about cars coming from one direction. So that's 50% less cars coming, right? And I was in a spot where I could very easily hear those cars coming because we're in the middle of nowhere and it's nice and quiet, all right? So that's another thing, using your ears, all right? Like, use your ears. It's hard to use your ears when in your first couple of years of flying because you're so focused on flying. But yeah, your ears are always on. They're always there. If you hear something weird, bring it in, put it somewhere safe, right? Get it into a safe spot. If it sounds like there might be a car coming, get it the hell away from the road. Get it as far away from the road as you possibly can. But yeah, use your ears. You also have two ears, guys. One on the right side, one on the left side. Before you go up in the air, look around and figure out, like, okay, my left ear. So in this case, my left ear is where the cars would have been coming. And then my right ear is where the bicyclists and the walkers would be coming. So I just took note of that. Like, if I hear a walker in my left ear, they're moving away from me. If I hear one in my right ear, they're coming towards me. If I hear a car, right? Like, so just use your senses. And it can really help a ton. You wouldn't believe, especially when you're flying a quiet rig, you wouldn't believe how much you can hear. The trick is to just not ignore it. The trick is to like do something with that information. And that's you gotta be really comfortable flying in order to do that, because you gotta be able to sort of fly like this on autopilot and have your focus be on other things. There's a little moment here where I'm down on the deck. I was only really willing to do this because I had a really clear sight line, and I am like 200 feet forward here listening to cars coming around the corner. So I can do this really low here and then do this big, but I would not keep going down that road, because if I had kept going down that road low like that, there was a corner. And with the corner, a car could have come around that corner going really fast. But because I knew my position where I was standing, I could hear farther down the road, and it was a really straight shot. So I had a good like sight line down the road. As soon as your sight line becomes blind, like, nah, man, no, get out. Like, if you can't, like if I couldn't hear and couldn't see, forget it. If I only can hear but can't see, like, maybe, it kind of depends. If you can't hear or see, no, you're out. Don't play that game. It's not worth it for the footage. Don't be that guy. Just getting a couple more sort of reveals here. This is pretty boring towards the end here, I think. What's next? Yeah, okay, so this is kind of an interesting one. They have a little train that runs around here, but the train was shut down today. Everything was shut down today. So this kind of goes under like pre-planning, I guess you could say. Typically you can't do this. Typically, like, you don't know what's going on, but if possible, do some recon, right? Like, I would absolutely never have done this if the trains were running, because I don't want to lose a rig. I don't want to fuck around with trains at all. But because I knew that, because I knew the entire park was basically shut down, we're nothing's going to come down the train lines, not to mention that I would have been able to hear it. This is really cool because it was nice and quiet. This is all on analog, by the way, friends. Never let it be known that analog isn't perfectly good for cinematic stuff. It's kind of awesome. This is pretty boring, if I'm kind of honest, although I did shoot the train gap. Hold on. Train gap was kind of fun. If you're going to do a gap like this, here's another one. If you're going to do a gap and you're going to do it on the fly, scout it out. This is me scouting out the gap. In analog, I couldn't really see all that well, so I just picked my in and out, and then I just kind of took a look at, because I could see that there were Christmas lights. I wanted to make sure that the gap was big enough in the Christmas lights. Scout your gap that you're going to shoot out. Make sure that you can shoot it like that when you're actually just not doing it in a line, and then put it into a line. Because once you get in there, especially with analog, God only knows what there could be. Wires hanging down, right? The scraggle, all kinds of nonsense. So yeah, scout shit out, and do some recon if possible. Certain stuff you literally can't fly if you don't know for a fact that shit's shut down. So here you go. Here it is in full commitment mode. This one wasn't nearly as clean, so I had to do it again. But yeah, there you go. Just from like a playing around standpoint and like shooting for cinematic stuff, this little railroad crossing sign, incorporate this in the line. Right, line starts there. Maybe do a speed ramp to push it up to where we're shooting the gap. Well, I guess I didn't shoot the gap this time. But yeah, like if you're flying railroad lines and there's a little railroad sign, get the railroad sign in the viewfinder. Did not power loop the train. No. It was all cinematic. Although it looks like I could have gone onto the damn thing. I didn't even think of doing that. This one was a little bit... I thought that I did one that was just completely dialed. Maybe not. That one should clean up quite a bit in Real Steady Go, though. And then the end of that line I incorporated that and got hung up on the little bush branch thing. And then this, it was too dark. I'm super bummed by this. I just lost the light. This was, I wanted this to kind of be like the ending shot of the whole edit. So this was the yurt that we stayed in, but it's just too dark. It's no lighter. And then this is my car, and that's me flying through the car. Front windows. Yeah, this is a shame. I had a feeling that I was really pushing the limits, but I had to try it. I saved one battery for this. This is kind of a shame. Maybe, I don't know, once I'm in the yurt here, like you can kind of see a little bit, but man, this is really dark, and it wouldn't really make any sense without like an approach. But yeah, yurts are really cool there. Oh man, you can't see the car at all. There's just that one little direct reflection off the side of the car. Yeah, and the neighbors had a fire going, and there was like smoke, and man, in the goggles, this looked incredible. And then yeah, they've got that tree up on top of the rock. This looked so cool in the goggles. But you know, like whenever it's kind of dark, and something looks amazing in the goggles, you ain't got it on the GoPro. That's something that you learn after a while. Like it's either or. So there's a bunch of Cinewhoop stuff. So you want to fly freestyle, eh? Here's how I fly freestyle in a spot like this. It's this. Sub 250 rigs. I mean, there's just, you have to keep the noise down. You have to keep the noise level down. Like, if this would have been, this is like my favorite kind of spot ever. Like this verticality of a spot like this, where you can play around with the branches like that. This is my absolute favorite. I would fucking kill to fly a 5-inch rig here, but I never will. Because I just get kicked out of the park in like 3 seconds. But luckily, we've spent all this time and effort to perfect this little 3-inch freestyle combination. So that's what you fly here. Yeah, this is run cam hybrid footage. It doesn't look as good as a session 5. But technically, I could have flown the Insta360 Go 2 here. I really wish I had. Because I didn't realize it was quite this dark. The run cam hybrid, it really starts to have a problem. Like this is a little too dark for the run cam hybrid. But yeah, this is a 3-inch freestyle. And then, you know, if you do get yelled at, you take this stupid little 3-inch rig and you say, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. I was just flying this little toy that I got for my kid. I wanted to test it out." And like, done. Later. See ya. Like, there's no, you know, 3-inch rigs, like, they do 100%. I was trying to get that into a little, like, half trippy spin, and I came so close, but it just wasn't quite there. Yeah, it's just a whole different thing. If you go to a spot like this and you expect to fly a 5-inch rig and you get pissed off when somebody yells at you, I'm sorry, but you're the asshole. Like, it's just... we don't own this shit. We are visitors. Like, these are not quad parks. These are designed for people and their families to eat lunch on picnic tables. Like, this is the fact that we go to these spots. Like, we're the guests, and you got to kind of keep that in mind. And if somebody gets even a little bit upset, pack it up and go. Don't fucking play this game of, like, you know, it's a public place. I've as much of a right to be here as you do. Like, don't get me wrong, I want to say that too, but like, it doesn't help anything. All it does is piss them off more, and then they call the cops, or like, it's just don't. It's not, they're not going to be like, "Oh, you're right, I'm wrong." Right? Like, that's never going to happen. This is also a situation where I'm using my ears like crazy, listening for like people just to like people won't immediately just call the cops. They'll be like, "Oh, what the fuck?" You know, I mean, I guess sometimes they will, but like, usually, like, you can hear somebody getting upset. You can hear somebody like hanging around. You can hear footsteps. Like, bring it in. Like, don't. It's just, just be cool. That's it. That's the one thing you just have to remember. Be cool. Man, I tried my ass off to get like a 3 picnic table in a row run going, and I just could not get it together, man. So this is the 1404 powered Ripsqueak. And I think I just don't have enough batteries through it. I mean, I had just flown, 5 or 6 batteries on the Cinewhoop. So I just wasn't dialed in on this rig. If I'd flown one more battery on this rig, I would have probably been able to get this taken care of. But yeah, on the first battery, it's a big adjustment. Hey, here's another thing. Only fly one battery. 3 words for you motherfuckers. Rip and dip. Go here, fly one battery, drive the fuck away. Anybody that's gonna get pissed off in 3.5 minutes of flying, like, they're just not. Like, people get mad when we're out there for 2 hours straight. Like, fly a battery, drive away. If you're really obsessed with the spot, drive 200 feet down. I thought this was our car. I felt like such an asshole. I was like, oh, it's time to come in. And I just saw an SUV. Yeah, like if I was really obsessed with this spot, and there weren't other people with me, I would have driven all the way to the other end so that anybody that might have been upset with the noise or anything like that would have been gone. And they see the car drive away, and it's like, okay, awesome. Now I can go sit at the picnic table again, because I was afraid to sit at the picnic table for some reason when there was a little toy buzzing around, right? People are weird. Like, that's fine. Like, that's not what was going on there, but like, if that's what was going on, it's like, they have the right to be there. We do not. Like, we're the ones making a ruckus. I know that sucks. And I have to hold myself back too although, man, it does not happen. It does not happen often. I do not get people screaming and yelling often. Probably because I stay the fuck away from them, and like, I listen really carefully. And like, if I hear somebody like, oh, I'll just like, hey, sorry, man, and just bring it in. I'm out. Or talk to them. You know, here's another thing too. Like, when at most of these spots, like, I made it a point, like, if there was anyone around, to just give them like a little wave, like, how high? Like, when you're pulling up to a spot, like, the more people you can, like, oh, hey, what's up, man? Hey, like, and like, even don't like be weird and like hide your shit. Like, throw your goggles on, like, maybe walk over to them holding it, like, oh, hey, man, what's up? Just be like, if somebody's in a shit mood, let's just take the awful garbage people off the table, right? If somebody's in a bad mood, because most people aren't garbage, they're just having a bad day. If somebody's in a bad mood and you're like, oh, hey, and you give them a big smile and like wave or give them a little peace sign or just anything, like, that's going to disarm them so much that if you then start doing something that they don't love, they're going to feel a little bit bad doing anything about it, right? Because like, you've established like a little bit of like a, hey, I'm a cool person, and like, I'm acknowledging you and like giving you a thumbs up or like something with a big smile on my face, right? Like, they're so much less likely to then call the cops or like yell and scream, or like, that's the person that will come over and be like, hey man, like, do you mind like not flying? Or, you know, like, they won't just jump to doing something dumb. They will, like, to be honest, most of the time they'll come over and be like, holy shit, what is that? Like, how do I build one? Can you build one for me? How high does it go? How far does it go? And that's what you want. I know for me, it's annoying. I don't like it because I'm trying to do something. Find your love here. Oh, there it is. Let's do that. I clicked it. Yeah, there was no love. Yeah, that's a really, really important thing. Especially like I'm also lucky like that I'm like kind of a skinnier guy, and like I'm gangly, and I'm the least threatening looking person ever, right? Like, if you're a more threatening looking person than me, which you probably are because everyone kind of is, you really want to be doing that, because people are very, it's 2022, yo. There's a lot of bad shit in the world. People are freaked the fuck out. So, yeah, like, if you're all, like, tatted up and shit, like, sorry, but, like, you're gonna have to work a little bit harder. Like, you're gonna have to really make it a point. Unless you don't care about getting kicked out, which you should. You should care, because the less people we piss off with drones, the less people will be pissed off forever about drones, right? Like, those people that are completely insane about drones and they just go from 0 to 100, we see them on YouTube every once in a while. Those are people that had a bad experience and now they hate drones forever, right? Like the people that shoot them out of the sky. Those are people that had a bad experience. If you cannot give someone a terrible experience like that and make them hate drones forever, that's one less complete garbage moron person. And that's like a big deal. So we're never going to win the argument. Like, you're never going to win the argument. Never. And like, it's not going to feel good enough. Like, telling someone fuck you and like you're wrong and you don't know the law and all the things that we want to tell them, right? Like, even if you do win, it's not going to feel good enough to offset the fact that you just made us all enemy number one. You just made every single FPV pilot and drone pilot a complete asshole. And the next time that person sees a drone, they're going to be a lot less understanding. They're just going to straight up call 911 more than likely. And you did that, right? Own that shit. Sorry, I know that sucks, but you got to own that shit. Like, if you're not willing to, that's fine, but you're wrong. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you are. There's no, like, it just doesn't help anything to get into that screaming match. Man, is it hard not to. But there's all kinds of stuff in life that's really hard to do. So, what's one more? So yeah, I think it's about all I can think of. Chat's been going ham, so I'm sure that there have been some awesome suggestions in chat. If there are any suggestions that popped up in chat that are like 10 out of 10, somebody tag me and tell me what it is. I'm going to scroll up in chat and try to get caught up here. So yeah, there you go, guys. That's how not to get caught. Oh, hey, one of the other ones I wanted to mention, when I was by those railroad tracks, I had found like a little pull-off, and I pulled my car off into the pull-off, and then I walked up a little bit and kind of stood behind a tree. Just like if there were cars driving by and there's an idiot wearing Marty McFly goggles, right, that's weird. Again, that person's now distracted, that's annoying in itself, but then, right, you're trying to be a little bit covert. So just understand that you're going to stand out like a sore thumb. So like park, and then if you have a tall car, maybe like hide behind the car, or just find a little tree, stand by the tree. Of course, pay attention to, your signal and make sure that you're not putting yourself in front of another object that's going to block your signal and lose your shit. Because that's a liability too, right? But yeah, find a spot to stand where you're a little bit kind of covert, to both not distract people that might be driving or riding a bike or whatever, but also so that you're a little bit less obvious, right? And now I think those are all the different reasons. I thought about this a bunch when I was kind of thinking what I wanted to do with the stream today. I just kind of racked my brain for different ways, and most of them were, I just thought of each battery that I flew. So yeah, that was kind of cool. All right. PJ says, well, oh no, we got that. Random FPV says, WTF guys, 92 watching and 22 thumbs up. Fix that shit. Show CiottiFPV some love. Thank you, Random. And head on over to CiottiFPV.com. Click all the buttons or I'll die. I literally will. I figuratively will. I will figuratively die inside if I can't do this for the rest of my life. I'll literally die inside. B-Man says, what's good? What's up, homie? Infinity Loops is in the house. What's up, Heads? How are you? Adam C says, what's up? PJ says, that smile on your dad's face as you were flying me by heartwarm. Gangly dad is proud of gangly son for chasing his gangly dreams. Yeah, my dad's the best, man. The fact that, like, that he hangs out in the streams once a while, and my streams are at weird times that don't necessarily work for my dad's schedule, but he watches a lot of them back, which is I'm the luckiest dude ever. Denzo the Terrible says, take that back, BWNZ. Seal wants to look like CiottiFPV. Yeah, I've been alive 15 years longer than him, so he looks like me. I was in high school when the dude was still in his father's nutsack or whatever. Isn't that the disgusting, gross thing that we're supposed to say about people? Sleepy CBR says, when I hear something approaching, I stop my drone movement and pan around to see what it was and land accordingly. Yeah, I mean, it's really, like, it's not hard. What's hard is being disciplined with this shit, right? Because, like, you'll be on, like, the last 10 seconds of your flying was the best you've ever done, and you're like, no way in hell, I'm on a good line, I'm this, that, the other thing. But you'll do it again. You know, like, you just can't, we can't hit people, guys. We can't hit people or things. We just can't. And inevitably, there's going to be situations, no matter what, when we're out flying, where it can potentially happen. No matter how safe you are, there's always a chance that some random person is going to be randomly walking through the random field in the middle of nowhere. So we don't have to, but we should. We owe it to all of the pilots in this hobby to, work and be smart and do all of these things that we possibly can to not ruin it for everybody, and not, like, mess with somebody, right? Like, we're the intruders. People just want to walk around. People just want to drive around. They don't want to be walking and get hit by a drone. Like, that's all your fault. All your fault. Should have been standing there. Oh, good luck. Good luck with that one. Brunswick Bean says, action cameras don't do good low light unless you try the lower frame rates. Was this in 25 frames per second? No. This was all, I did everything today in 60 frames. I could have gained, so that night shit was 60 frames, 120. I should have dropped down to 30 frames, 1/60. To be honest, though, 160 versus 120 is only a third of a stop, which is pretty much nothing. Like, it would have been yeah, it's just not enough of a difference. And you really don't want to. I technically could have gone down to 1/30, and that would have been 2/3 of a stop. Then you get into weirdness with the frame rate not being, or the shutter speed not being double the frame rate. It was just too dark. It was just too dark. And I have my ISO limited 100 to 400. Technically, I could have kicked that up to 800 or 1600, but then it would have gotten noisy and looked like hell anyway. So anything above 400, it just looks so noisy that I don't even want it. So yeah, it was just it was an attempt, and it was whatever. B-Man says, did you record the goggle DVR? In theory, well, no, I mean, the Fat Sharks were definitely recording, but I certainly did not push the stop button, so I'm sure I lost the file. Fat Pastor says, HG0 does great in low light, just saying. So does analog. That was actually, I was flying with a Foxeer toothless Nano Starlight. So it looked like fucking daytime in the goggles. It was beautiful in the goggles, but I knew with the fact that the sun was down, how far the sun was down, that it was, yeah. But I had an extra battery, and it was just like, let's do this. If I get something awesome, if not, it is what it is. Does HD0 have any night cameras like the Starlight, like the Foxeer toothless Starlight? I don't think they do. Metalritzen says, say what you will about 1S toothpicks, they are crazy quiet. I've flown a baby tooth in spots where even a 3S TP3 would have been a little too loud. Yeah, that is something that I will absolutely give to the 1S toothpicks, is that they are infinitely quiet. And that's awesome because you can fly them fucking anywhere. And I love that about them. For me, I would rather fly a Cinewhoop. I would rather fly a 65 mil Cinewhoop. And I had it. I had it, and I actually planned on flying it, but I sort of ran out of time, and I was prioritizing the GoPro footage. If I'd had more time to fly, I would have actually flown a bunch of batteries on this little bastard. There was an amazing jungle gym there that I really wanted to get into, but you know, this was not an FPV trip. This was a see my parents and hang out in the yurt and relax trip. So that was the priority. I get, you know, when my parents, Maggie and I, were out in a couple little cool spots, I kind of snuck it in. And then I took like a half an hour for myself and I went out. But that was it. You know, this was not an FPV trip. So, and keep that shit in mind, guys, because your significant others will be very understanding about you making everything about FPV up until a point. So, ask me how I know. No, don't. Meldortson says, and I learned that in a past relationship, and I will never forget that. And I keep the lines of communication wide fucking open with Maggie, and I'm like, yo, like often I will be like, hey, if I'm ever flying too much, fucking tell me. Please tell me. Scream it at me. I don't care. Just let me know. And yeah, I don't, but yeah, like saying that is great and all, but it's my responsibility, and it's your responsibility too. Like, you can't just, that's the very man thing to do, right? Like, oh, you have to tell me about all the problems, otherwise I won't know. Like, no. Every once in a while, sure, but in most cases, fucking, come on. Like, figure shit out. Don't, like, we're not dumb. Don't be dumb. Like, if you just think about shit like that, think about the other people, and don't put them in a situation where they have to yell at you for shit like that. By communicating with them about it, it lets them know that you're at least, that you care, and that you're at least thinking about it, and that's huge, and that's really important. And if you do those two things, there's a much better chance that they will tell you before it's, you know, fuck you, I'm leaving. Right? But, yeah, and that's not what happened for those of you that have been around a long time. But, yeah, people in your life will be very accommodating. They will tend to be too accommodating. Don't let it get to that point. There's a saying about that. Not don't bite the hand that feeds you, but whatever. CMYKFPV says rip and dip. Goddamn right. That should be tip number one. CMYKFPV says, what's good, gangly guy and gang? 661 says, sometimes I'll be flying around and see some strange guy standing there. I'm like, who the hell is that? And I realize it's me. Yeah, it happens a lot. Denzel the Terrible says, it's totally good to talk to people and engage. Tell them to let you know if your drone is too obnoxious. Absolutely, Denzel. Yep. Like, that's the next level. Like, if you're going to fly something that's noisy, that's what you want to be doing. Give the wave, say hi, and just straight up be like, hey, I'm going to fly this little toy around. Like, if I was flying this guy on biblades, right? Biblades are all noisy. I would have walked up to those people on the left and right and been like, hey, I'm going to fly this silly little toy around. If for some reason you get annoyed by it, just holler. It's all good. It's totally cool. I don't want to make anybody upset. Like, people will be like, oh my God, thank you. That's awesome. You're the coolest person ever. What is it? How high does it go? How fast does it go? Fuck, I shouldn't have said anything. But yeah, if you're going to fly a little bit of a noisy rig around, go talk to people. I was not. These are all very, very quiet. I brought the 1404 Ripsqueak because it's the quietest one, because it's the lightest and the quietest one. On the tri-blades, it's really, really quiet. CMYK says, I'm planning on hitting some spots over the December holiday. No other time for certain spots. Yeah, that kind of ties into like reconnaissance, like know the spot, right? Like the holidays are where we can fly the ultra sketchy spots. Still do all the other things, but like, yeah, knowing that on the holidays there aren't going to be cars in X, Y, or Z location, like that's a big deal. That's a huge part of like being able to safely fly spots and not get caught. But the biggest thing is, right, if you're being safe, you're really not going to get caught because all of the safety things are going to keep people the fuck away. And then if there's no people, there's nobody to catch you. So like it all kind of works together. Hella G's says, if we're going to be flying in potential sketchy places, bring a set of ride-along goggles. Great idea, Hella G. Great idea. Almost always instantly disarms a tense situation. One of the most underrated benefits of analog. Very, very, very true. Extra set of goggles, little tiny screen. That's what I loved. I'm pissed mine broke. That stupid little $40 fucking analog screen. Oh my God, man. Like every time there's somebody around, just like, hey, you want to see what? Like, oh man, people love it. Every time it starts the conversation of how fast does it go, how high does it go. But yeah, if you're like gonna camp at a spot that you really want to fly, like for rip and dips, it doesn't really matter because you're gonna fly for 3.5 minutes and you're gonna drive away, and it's just kind of like whatever. But if you want to set up camp and fly for an hour at a spot, and there's other people there, you fucking A. You get them into the goggles, or you talk to them like you need to, like they might have been planning on sitting there for 2 hours, and now there's jackasses, right? Like yeah, give them something, to not get them mad. Great. That's a really good one, Hella G. Yeah, extra set of goggles, little tiny screen, big screen, whatever, or. If I were in that situation, I could have used a little power play. It's one of the things I love about this power play, is if like somebody comes over to you and they're asking you the standard set of questions, you can just plug the power play in. If you don't have another set of goggles or a screen, and just say, hey, you can watch what I'm doing. Here, just hold this. And they just sit there and they hold the fucking power play. And, oh my God, ooh, can you go up high? Ooh, how high? Ooh, how fast? Oh. Tell them wild shit. Tell them they'll go 10 miles high. I mean, we don't know. Maybe they would. Full, like, 3/4 throttle for an entire battery might go 10 miles. We don't know. How fast does it go? Like 200 miles an hour. Really? You don't know. Stiff wind from behind. You don't know. Fat Pastor says the Mobula 7 HD0 is almost as good as the Toothless 2. No kidding. No shit. Wow. That is wild. I think I'm going to put the so those of you that have stayed this late in the stream, here's your sneak peek. What's this called? What's the little fractal? The fractal build is going back together without HD0 this time. I don't know what I'm going to do with that 1S HD0 board. I think I'm not doing the fractal thing with it. There's too many like little weird pains in the asses about that build. So I'm gonna put the fractal back together, and what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna stress test these WeBleedFPV prototype 0802s. Because this is a carbon fiber frame, it's gonna put a ton of stress on the motor shaft. So we'll get to see how tough these motor shafts are on these protos by putting it into this build. HD0 is not going back in here. I don't know. It's a tough pill to swallow to spend another $60 on another Mobula 6 board for that HD0 setup when I don't know what to do with it. I'm not going to fly it freestyle because it's too heavy. The video quality isn't really good enough to use as as like HD footage, although it is better than analog. I don't know. If I start chasing those little RC drift cars a bunch, I'll probably do another build with it. Other than that, though, I don't have a use for it. I don't know what it's for. So apparently Kiz had a good dad joke. Oh, I don't get Kiz's dad joke. I don't know who Jared Fogle is. I'm the worst. Damn it. I love dad jokes. Kiz Bartlett says, like a Band-Aid. If you pre-crash into them, it reduces the fear. Redisek Bean says, I ordered an 03 and premium kit for an AOS LR5 03 build over the weekend. Oh my god. Baller as fuck. Sleepy CBR says, I always bring my 7-inch screen for people to watch. It's been great. Yeah, it really does make a big difference. Showing people what you're up to so that they know what's happening rather than just that thing is making a noise that I don't like. That's a huge deal. And like if they see you having fun, it's again, they're going to be less likely to, they're going to be more likely to just suck it up and just relax. Gamma Gonad says 2020 to 2021 sucked ass, but damn, it was awesome for FPV. Ghost towns everywhere. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, man, the pandemic was really good for FPV. Really, really good for FPV. Fat Pastor says, remember the LED hoodies from years ago? That's what we need so they can see us coming after them. Moderatskin says, I put my night video in the Video Collective channel with the cam missing its IR filter. So a camera missing its IR filter is basically these Starlight cameras. Sometimes the Starlight cameras will use a more sensitive sensor. You can tell that by the lux. I forget how many zeros it is. I think, so like most cameras, the sensitivity goes down to, I want to say 0.01 lux. That's like a standard FPV camera, which is pretty good. The cameras that they basically remove the IR filters, they then go down to 0.001 lux usually, and then I think the full tilt night cameras will go all the way down to 0.0001, I believe. I did a bunch of research when I was getting into those toothless Starlight cameras. I don't know. We'll see. It's not we'll see. That doesn't make any sense. Casey Anderson says, oh, my birthday is December 4th, just so you know. Also, I want to send you a Christmas card. Keep an eye out for the email because I need your info. Sounds good, brother. And because I'll probably miss it because I forget all the things. Happy birthday, homie. It's 11:38. Holy crap. It's not midnight. Let's do a little bit of frame swappage on this Flow 1102 motored Tinylifter. Nah, hold on. Let's fly a little bit. What do you guys want? Type in the chat. Type lifter for the lifter repair or fly if you want to see me fly a couple. I have a whole bunch of Cinewhoop I have to charge these batteries down. I don't care what you guys want. I have to fly it. You guys have seen. This would be the most useless thing ever. I would literally be swapping a frame. I would just take this apart and then change from the silver frame. Paint his silver pants blue. And now I will paint his silver pants blue. Is it blue pants silver or silver pants blue? I also set up a couple of gates down here, so we're definitely flying. We're definitely frying. William Loesch says, big question in my FPV life. Will the glide frame fit the new DJI 03 camera lens? Okay, no clue. Although, if you go into, there's an FPV Cycle Facebook group. I bet you somebody has already tested it in there. Hold on. Let's see. Hey. There we go. All right, let's turn some things on and
welcome to OpenTX.
Do some whooping. The whooping cranes. Reset. Thank you, Amber. All right, here it is. This is the Tinywhoop rig with the 0702 30,000s. It's back together. And this is the rig with the better camera. This is the old school Runcam Nano. I guess this would be the Nano 2. It might be the first run of the Nano 3, though. Oh, boy. Oh! Oh, God! I'm a little bit less used to this camera, but my God, is it better. I was trying to get that into a dive down there. Oh, God! That was an odd little panic move. Ah! It works better when I don't hit the ceiling. Ah! So close. Oh, my God, I didn't know that. Oh, shit, what was that? I didn't realize that, I'm trying to get that, like, really off-center. Ah! It's coming this way! It hit the chair! Ah! I tried to force it. That's what she said. Let's get in it. No, 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 no! Ah! My wall. My beautifully painted wall. Jesus. Having a hard time. Ah! Trying to figure out what to. I love this little tunnel here. I gotta get the fifth one put up. But like, I don't know what to do. Like, that's the best I've figured out to do with this tunnel. It's just like a big. I mean, it's kind of cool, right? Oh my God, these motors are so poppy. I have an idea. Let's try the TV power loop again. We'll do it through the gate this time. Here we go.
20 seconds.
Oh! I hit the back of the TV. I didn't get the elevation up quite enough. Let's try it again. Oh, I hit it again! The other day I was not hitting the back of the TV. What's happening today? Let's see if I can squeeze it in here. Oh! Oh, just the one.
9.
Ah! Uh-oh. 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 Taking the walk. Stuck on my headphones. Stuck on my streaming headphones. Oh, God. This rig has all the power. Oh, I just caught a whiff of myself. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. Fat Pastor says, no, the dress is gold. What's that from?
7, 6, 5, 4.
I gotta be honest. I love flying. There are not many rigs
1.
that I like flying as much as this one. Ah, God. I have not been having any luck lately with those big throw Matty flips through these gates. Well, all I have to do is say that I suck, and then it's fine. Alright, let's keep going. Just getting warmed up. We're just getting warmed up. Come on. Ugh, I plugged this BT 2.0 in a little too vigorously. Come out. There we go.
Telemetry lost.
All right. More demolition. So this rig is the Tinywhoop 0702s. It's also the oh, maybe that's why there was a bunch of up tilt in the camera. So yeah, I call this rig the Tinywhoop rig. It's also on a custom dyed purple Meteor 65 frame from Jesse at Tinywhoop. I'm considering putting, so now there's more ducts in view. I like it. I like these Tinywhoops better with lower field of view. I feel like I fly better. I'm considering putting a Tinywhoop pinch cam on it, along with their little mount. I've had the pinch cam before. It didn't blow me away. Farts. What is happening? But I had it in the other mount, and I think the mount was the big part of the thing that I didn't like about it. Ah! Oh my god, that was a big one. There we go. Oh! Oh! Now we're getting it. We're getting there. You can't force the. You can't like. I try to force these moves through some of these gates, and it just never force it, boys. Never force it. Oh, you guys haven't had OSD. I got some OSD for you, man. That light is fucking blinding. See, I was forcing that. I wasn't letting that flow. Oh. You just gotta trust the flow, yo. Oh, that would have been cool. That's actually, I'm kind of digging that. Here, drop down here. Whoa! Hit the ceiling. Also thinking about turning off crash prevention. I don't know if crash prevention is really doing me any favors anymore. Ah! I think I like it better that way. So we can kind of come into it like this. Nope. Ah! Or. Nope. I got confused. Oh my god. That was really cool looking for a second there. I just like laid that right roll out. Ah! Again, forced it. I love those little like. I actually learned that from Kebab. That was something that Kebab did way back in the day, and I was like, "Oh, that is a camera motion that I love." I'm gonna do that one. Ah! Oh my god! Oh my god! Yo, this camera. Who knows what's the deal with the there was that little run of the Runcam Nano, either 3 or 2s, and then Metal, that's exactly what I'm worried about. Metal Richardson says, I had that 10-wood pinch mount on the AIO I killed in a crash. I worry their mount doesn't protect enough on impacts to the board. That's why I blew it up. That's why I'm probably not going to do it, to be honest. That's exactly what I'm worried about. Shit, what was I saying?
Telemetry lost.
Things. I was saying things. What the hell was I saying? I forget. Balls. More! Words are hard. Ah, I tried to shoot that backwards. Ah, that was close. Woo! Just laying that motherfucker out. You guys know what I mean when I say that, right? Like that's like laying the end of the move out, like just going to like a really low rate, like snap the beginning, and just let the rest of it just like slowly come around. Fuck you! Don't do this to me. Not like this. Thank you. Yeah, that's one of the things that previous to these big power setups that I really missed. I missed being able to go like, and just, it lets your eyeballs like actually catch the action for a second. Ooh. Oh, that would have been gnarly. Ah, you bastard, you. Yeah, that was something that I really missed about the old Tinywhoops. I mean, just like low power to weight ratio Tinywhoops in general. They don't have the momentum, like they don't have the mass to give you that throw that we like from bigger, heavier rigs. And they don't have the power. Like with a lightweight rig, at least if you have the power, you can yeah, you can just force it. Ooh, that's coming over here. It's just so fun to boogie. This rig is just so alive. This is like the most lively thing ever. Oh, really? I got hung up on that part. Oh my god, that would have been ridiculous. I actually made a correction when I was inverted on that one. Didn't even really think about it, just kind of did it. Oh, I tried to drop down through the top. What? Oh, really? I couldn't have just dropped down and it would have just been cool? You couldn't have just been cool? Oh, oh my god! Not 100% on purpose, but I'll take it. Ah! Got a little confused with. I thought it was gonna push me back farther. I kind of had a plan, and then when the plane kind of fell apart, and I was like, oh, wait, what? Oh my god! What's up, Apache Smoke? June Lucas says, now we're up to 75. I don't have any. I don't have any built. But we can simulate it by just all those crashes, just like put them back to back. That's basically what it is to fly a 75. For me at least. They're just too heavy. The extra weight makes them slide a lot. So I kind of realized, hey, Heads, you still in the chat? In thinking a ton about it and continuing just to think more and more about it, I believe that I have figured out why it's, for me personally, it's so important to do these stupidly lightweight 65mm builds. Tinywhoop racers, and I think it's basically that I'm so like cinematically driven, right? So like, yes, real steady go removes roll, but in order for Real Steady Go to remove roll, it has to zoom in. And then you lose pixels on GoPros. And, you know, when I'm out flying a professional gig, I'm the only GoPro. Everybody else is on Reds and shit like that, right? So, a long time ago, I started to fly flat. And I started to mix roll with yaw drastically. I'm making a point to do it right now. Usually I don't do it quite this much, but I always do it. And I've been doing this for a long time. Just trying to fly as flat as possible. Well, when you fly flat like this, the rig just slides. Like, I wasn't going quite fast enough. I'll get a little speed and then turn it flat. Look at all that slide. So the heavier the rig is, the more that slide is going to happen. What a lot of racers do, and just a lot of pilots in general that don't fly that don't just focus on a cinematic flying style, is they won't coordinate their sticks this much, and they'll basically almost fly like, man, it's hard for me to even do it. They'll almost fly like bank and yank, where they put a lot of roll in. And when you put a lot of roll in like this, yeah, I can force myself to do it. When you put a lot of roll in like this, the weight doesn't matter as much because you can just roll more into it. You can just really roll over in turns and just dig the thing in. And, yeah, and so I think that this is why I'm so obsessed with these really lightweight builds, because I want to fly around like this. I want to fly around completely flat and then use roll for like other stuff and then flatten back out. And it just, yeah, and when you fly like that, and I'll give you guys a little bit of a visual. When you do this, when you fly flat, let me use something bigger. When you fly flat and you're flying along and you have all this forward momentum and then you just turn it, it just, like, there's only the forward momentum from this. You're not, like, rolling into it to stop that momentum. So it just wants to slide. So the rigs have to be really light. This is also why my Cinewhoops are stupidly light. Versus you come into a corner and you just throw a bunch of roll in, and then you've got all this thrust vector to stop the damn thing. So I really think it's flying style, and it's just how, like, violently I coordinate. And when you're like, if you were to watch, if I had stick cam, you would see me like really working the shit out of yaw. Like, I really mix yaw with roll quite a bit. It's also why I run identical yaw to roll rates. So then I always have. So I can, if however much I push over into yaw, I push the same amount over into roll. And it just keeps it completely flat. So yeah, that is what I think is why the 75mm rigs just don't work for me, because they're a little bit heavier, and then they end up sliding more. See how that stops? Like, this rig, it just, I mean, like, there was a bunch of slide, but like I had some momentum going. But like, yeah, this rig at the lightest weight I can get it to with still good durability, it just slides a lot less. Yeah, see, like, that slid a little bit too much, and I banged into the shifter. I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to have to put a bunch of roll in. That's what, like, I've said forever, that in a way, that's not great. In a way, I try to fly. Well, that's weird. Did I just kill it from landing it hard? Oh, I didn't switch. Hell. Wouldn't be a CiottiFPV stream if I didn't forget to do that at least once. Now I forget what I was saying. But yeah, that's my current thinking. All that being said, even if you don't specifically try to fly flat all the time, like I do, a lighter rig is still going to be more accurate. Like that, that it's just physics, right? Like the amount of mass changing the direction of an amount of weight, the lower that amount of weight, the easier it's going to be to change direction. So there's that. Oh boy, a lot of wires. What's the gap hole? It's this one down here. Yeah, it is. Oh, what? It also just makes it like the snappiest, most lively rig ever. Jesus. And like everything for me, like everything is set up to do this. Like my rate, most people that fly my rates are like, "What the fuck is happening here?" Because there's tons of expo, and it's all about. Oh, I remember what I was saying. I'm trying to say. Oh, fart. I know where it is. It's just leaned up against the chair. It's weird that I can't get it out of here. Yeah, what I was gonna say is like I've said for a long time that like I love showing my footage to non-FPV people and getting their reaction. What I try to avoid is like a lot of non-FPV people, like you start showing them your footage and you start flipping and flopping all around, and they're like, "Oh God, I can't." Like I really try to avoid that. Like, oh fuck. And one of the ways to do that is to not constantly make your horizon line go completely nuts, and to try to keep your horizon as flat as possible. And yeah, like if you're trying to fly cinematic, your audience is no longer FPV pilots, right? And like that's a big goal for me, is to like I want to fly FPV for a living. And in order to do that, realistically, I put some Christmas lights up, guys, look. In order to do that, there's only like 3 or 4 people, not even, there's probably only really one person that flies straight up flies FPV for FPV people. Put this little thing up. I put some. Oh, get a load of this. Oh, they're not on because the TV's not on. But there's another set of these lights here with Gemfan holiday props. Yeah, there are practically no FPV pilots that make a living out of flying for other pilots. Where the hell am I? Typically, you're to appeal to a broader audience, you need to fly for normies, right? Like straight up normies, because there's billions of normies, and there's only 10,000, 100,000, maybe 10,000, like tens of thousands, I should say, maybe at the most 100,000 FPV pilots. So yeah, I what's happening? Did I lose a propeller? Yep, I lost the prop. One motor goes. So yeah, I think that is why. Where did the propeller go is the question. Because I'll just put it right back on. Where'd you go, prop? I can usually see him. Balls. It went somewhere interesting. It went to the giant hole in the sky that eats all the bibladed propellers. Infinity Loop says, I feel like you fly a bit faster than I do with the whoop at least. I always feel like I'm in slow motion. That might be. Oh man, that's the prop that I lost is one of the. This rig also has hand dyed props by Jesse from Tinywhoop, and that's one of these hand dyed props. That's kind of interesting. The speed that we fly at is typically really reliant upon the up tilt that our cameras are at. One of the only complaints I have about this incredibly durable, why is there a tri-blade in there, Mobula 6 canopy is that it's, because of the shit that's under where the camera is, man, these props fit really loose on here. I'm probably going to lose this prop, but it pushes the, oh boy, it pushes the up tilt up a little bit more than I would want. I always find myself pushing the up tilt back down. And I notice that when I start flying really fast. Ah! Let me guess. It threw the prop, didn't it? Nah, we good. Stop flashing. What are you flashing for? Ah! Into the abyss. Uh-oh. 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 Well, it's after 12. I think this might be it. I'm kind of exhausted too. I'm hungry. I'm exhausted. Did I eat? I did eat. I want to eat more now. Should I get a little bit more? Wait, is that the prop? Is that it? No, it's a piece of something. Let's find the prop. Let's play a game. It's called Find the Propeller. It's not over here. It's not over here. I'm gonna get all shit in the motors doing this. This is stupid. I'll find it later. Oh god. Oh, wow, this battery's on fire. Sorry, battery. You've now been murdered.
Telemetry lost.
I think I might have murdered a couple of these batteries. I was very mean to these today. I'm gonna check them. All right, people. I think I'm gonna leave it there. It's after midnight. A good little session though. Good little session. Good small flying session. Thanks for hanging out, you filthy animals. What's today? Monday? Tomorrow, there's nothing. I'm going to try to do a Gran Turismo 7 stream tomorrow. So if you're into cars, I don't know when, but I'll try to get one in there. Wednesday, Whoop Wednesday, we're going to get this fractal back up and put a bunch of batteries through it. And we're going to see how these We Bleed prototype motors do. So that should be pretty cool. I don't know what to do with my hands. Why has this gone to 4x3? Oh my god, why is it? Why? Logitech, what the hell? What are you doing? Every fucking time. That fix it? Nope. Why? Why go to why? Just completely random goes to 4x3. For what reason? In what world is that okay? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. Oh man, it's acting all screwed up. Whatever. There it goes. There it is. Great. All I had to do was, I don't know, launch the application, I guess. My name's Aaron Ciotti. You've just been filled in. Wait, no, that's Philip DeFranco. Thanks for hanging, friends. Enjoy yourselves. I hope you got some good stuff on Cyber Monday. I saw a bunch of people use some of my affiliate links. Thank you for that. CiottiFPV.com for all your butt sex needs. And I'm out of here. Oh, God. What the fuck is wrong with me? Here's one more hit of the... Well, no, here's some flying from Bardwell's house. Love you guys. Be good. Tip your waiters. There we go. See you Wednesday. Whoop Wednesday. Be there or rot in hell. Your choice. Get you guys some music going here. Fall Call, Dreamy and Laid Back. I'll be the judge of that. Later! Hang on. Oh, it's doing it again. God damn it. Black hole. Man, I've never experienced such... I just don't understand why the programs that are for streaming are so awful. They just stop working for no goddamn reason. Like all the time, too. Oh my God. Oh, why? You fuckers. I got nothing, man. I got nothing. Nothing ever works. Nothing ever works. Not now. Not ever. I guess I just need to keep this installer in here. And then I'll just install it. Apparently at the beginning of every live stream. No, don't move it to the trash. There we go. Keep it. There it is. But what happened to... Why did I lose everything else? What the hell just happened? Why did I lose that? That's why. Love you guys. Jesus. Here you go. Wow.